What's up, everyone? So today you're going to learn about latent semantic indexing, or LSI. This is a phenomenal tactic that you should be using in all of your SEO copy. If you have any URLs out on your website that you want to rank higher in search engines and they're not quite there yet, you absolutely should be applying latent semantic indexing principles to your copy. So stay for the whole video. We're going to talk about exactly what latent semantic indexing is, the fastest way to implement it on your own site, and how to get that going right away. I'm Tommy Griffith with clickminded.com. Let's get going. Okay, so latent semantic indexing, or LSI. So let's dig into this a little bit. This is a super important part of copywriting these days, specifically copywriting that's beneficial for search engines. We're going to dive into exactly what that means in a little bit, but just as a quick reminder before we kind of jump into this is a component of search engine optimization, and search engine optimization, or SEO, is only one piece of digital marketing, right? So we're going to be diving specifically into an SEO topic today, but just keep in mind that your entire digital marketing strategy should be composed of much more than just search engine optimization. Do keep that in mind. And while we talk about search engine optimization, latent semantic indexing is really only one piece of SEO. This is just one component of kind of a channel that has many components. Latent semantic indexing is really just a fancy way to say additional relevant keywords, right? Google has a very difficult job in trying to rank documents. A user does a search on a search engine. Google has to find the 10 most relevant documents to show on that first page of results. And latent semantic indexing is really just a way to help them do that, right? So the basic idea here is that there's a number of keywords that aren't necessarily synonyms, but are incredibly contextually relevant to your primary keyword. So before we dive really deep into LSI, let's talk about just basic SEO copywriting to begin with, right? So I have a website, I have a page on that website, and I'm trying to get it to rank for a particular keyword. What are the things I need to do to get that page ranking? Well, from an on-page optimization perspective, the very basic things are this, use your keywords 2 to 3 times, right? Use that primary keyword exactly as it's written, maybe 2 to 3 times in your document. Google understands synonyms related to that keyword, so go ahead and sprinkle a couple of synonyms in the copy where it's reasonable. Always read your copy out loud. Remember, you're designing for humans, not for search engines. I made this massive mistake when I first started getting into search engine optimization, which was that I would design for search engines, not for users. That meant I wrote very spammy, gross sounding copy, and it sucked. It really sucked. So don't do that. Make sure that you're kind of writing your copy for humans. What I like to do is actually write my copy first and then go back right before I hit publish and do all my SEO tweaks later, right? So getting my primary keyword in there 2 to 3 times, getting some synonyms in there a couple times, reading it all out loud before I hit publish, and I generally find much better results in doing it that way. If it sounds terrible when you read it out loud, you're doing it wrong. Kind of rework it until it sounds great. So that's standard SEO copy, right? That's kind of the old school way. We know our keyword. We're going to try and work it into our main document. What is LSI? What is latent semantic indexing? So once you've done your core copy, like your regular writing for humans, and then you've added your primary keyword and some synonyms in there, then you want to look at latent semantic indexing. So latent semantic indexing, like I said, is just a fancy way to say other contextually relevant keywords, right? It's words that are thematically related to your core keyword. So if my core keyword was Empire State Building, right, some other synonyms for building might be building, tower, skyscraper, high rise, right? These are other words that mean building. Latent semantic indexing keywords would be words that are kind of thematically related, but not synonyms, right? So in the Empire State Building case, maybe it would be New York City, Guinness Book of World Records, sightseeing, something like that. Those are not related to a building at all, but in all these other documents out on the web that are mentioning Empire State Building, New York City and Guinness Book of World Records and sightseeing are consistently coming up, right? So there's a thematic relationship between these phrases. And the idea here is that you can kind of signal that document relevancy to any search engine crawling your documents if you have a lot of these latent semantic indexing keywords in there. Okay, so you have your primary keyword, you've written this great content that users love, you've gone back before you hit publish and you've added your primary keyword in there 2 or 3 times, you've added a couple of synonyms in there 2 or 3 times, and now you need to figure out what your LSI keywords are. There's a couple different ways to do this. My first and favorite way is lsigraph.com. Basic idea here is you plug your primary keyword in and it'll render a bunch of results for you that show you latent semantic indexing related keywords. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're on lsigraph.com and all I have to do is type my primary keyword in. So if it was Empire State Building, I'll go ahead and do that. Do the little spam captcha check. And go ahead and click generate. Okay, so I've input Empire State Building and LSI Graph is giving me all the things that it thinks are related. Times Square, things to do in New Jersey, Statue of Liberty, things to do in New York, right? Empire State Building, history, facts, floors, lights, colors, top things to do, the Met Museum, Central Park, right? So these are not synonyms for building, but the entire universe of possible documents that might contain the words Empire State Building, these are effectively themes for that. So the basic idea here is from a document relevancy perspective, we want to add as many of these into our document as possible. Same rules apply. Make sure to read it out loud. Don't include anything that's not great for users. But the basic idea here is you're kind of signaling that document relevancy if you can include a bunch of LSI keywords in there. Another great tactic that a ton of people overlook, Google. Google your keyword, right? And then once you're in the results, scroll down to the bottom, searches related to Empire State Building, right? Google actually gives you these answers, right? Google thinks the following queries are related to your initial query. So I Googled Empire State Building. What else is coming up? Empire State Building ticket prices, facts, floors, history, hours, right? So this might not be a great example for LSI, right? This particular one, because there's a lot of navigational queries in here. But the point here is that you can use tools, I like lsigraph.com and just Google, to find these thematically related keywords that aren't necessarily synonyms, but are very relevant, right, contextually to your document. Cool, and so that's it. That is latent semantic indexing, or LSI. So I hope that was useful. If it was helpful and if you learned something today, go ahead and click subscribe down below for even more digital marketing tactics and tips from us. If you're watching on YouTube, I would love a comment. What'd you think? Are you doing LSI keywords? Do you have any other tools that you recommend? I would love to hear what you have to say. I read every single comment. Finally, if you want a comprehensive SEO checklist from us for free, absolutely free, go ahead and click that link down below to clickminded.com and get your free SEO checklist right now. Thanks a lot.